The hour of 11 a.m. having arrived, the House will come to order. The chair gives permission to the House Judiciary Committee to continue its voting meeting. Members, please take your seats. Sergeants at arms, please close the doors of the House. Prayer today will be offered by our colleague, Representative Salisbury. Immediately after prayer, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Members and guests, please rise as able.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I invite all of you to pray or reflect this morning in your faith or tradition as I do in mine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehekianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Good Yontif. Today is the Jewish holiday of Shavuot. 7 weeks ago was the Jewish holiday of Passover, which marks the Exodus after God freed the Israelites from bondage in Egypt. Each day after Passover, we count the days of the Omer period until arriving at 49 days as of last night when Shavuot began. Shavuot commemorates the day when God gave the law to the Israelites via Moses on Mount Sinai. The Israelites received the 10 Commandments on this day. The late U.S. Senator Joseph Lieberman described this period between Passover and Shavuot as the process of bridging America's treasured values of liberty and justice. Just as we Jews count the days of the Omer, in our work we can recognize each step along the way in that process of bridging these two societal values of liberty and justice. And so today I offer this solemn prayer. Hashem, Almighty God, I turn to you today on the day of the giving of your law to the Israelites, and I ask that you bless the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and give us the light to lead lives of goodness, filled with caring for others and the dedication to support those in need. Please guide the elected members assembled in this august chamber and direct our hearts to bring liberty and justice to all people. And let us say, Amen.
I pledge allegiance Sergeant at Arms, please open the doors of the House. Members and guests, please take your seats. Without objection, the approval of the Journal of Tuesday, June 11, 2024 will be postponed until printed. The House will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Sergeants, please clear the aisles. Any conversations? At this time, please take them off the floor of the House so we can acknowledge our guests. The House will come to order. This morning, seated to the left of the speaker's rostrum, it's the honor of the chair to welcome back a constituent of Representative Guzman from Berks County. Not only is he a constituent, he is the mayor for the city of Reading. Let's please give a warm welcome to the Honorable Mayor, Eddie Moran. Bienvenidos. Also this morning, seated to the left of the speaker's rostrum, our colleague, Representative Flood, that serves Northampton County, along with Representative Mako, have brought this morning Gail Pekoski and her family to the chamber today. They're celebrating Gail's retirement in July after she has provided over 28 years of service to the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. For most of that time, she worked with 4 consecutive members who served the 138th District, including and currently Representative Flood and also Representative Mako. She's here today with her family, her son, Chad, Nathan, her daughter-in-law, Jessica, her grandchildren, both Olivia and Asher, are here to celebrate. And she has one son, Nicholas, who lives in Texas, who's not here. Colleagues, let's celebrate the steadfast commitment of Gail. Happy retirement. Congratulations. Our colleague that serves Allegheny County, Representative Venkat, along with the colleagues who serve in Montgomery County, Representatives Scott and Malagiri, are hosting the additional Inspector General of the Nepal Police along with his family. They are visiting today with the trip that was facilitated by the Pennsylvania Nepalese Guthi Association. Please stand when I say your name. We are excited to be joined by the Inspector, Tek Bahadur Tamong, also the General Secretary of the Nepal Police Wives Association, Anu Shri Pakreen, and we also have Dr. Pakar Singh Pakreen, the consultant neurologist, along with Namin G. Singh Tamong and Bimal Moktang, the president of the Pennsylvania Nepalese Guthi Association, Banad Mokhton, the senior advisor to the Pennsylvania Nepalese Guthi Association, and Januka Bishnu, along with Sika Mokhtan. We are so honored to have you in our presence. Namaste. Welcome. In the back of the house, our colleague that serves Lackawanna County, Representative Donahue, has some very special guests. The first family of the 113th Legislative District is here in full effect. We are so grateful to have on the floor his lovely wife, Mary Kate, and their beautiful daughters, Maggie and Claire. They are in the back of the house. Donahue family, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Also in the back of the house, it is an honor to welcome my legislative intern who came all the way from West Philly early this morning to get here in time for session. Our office is so excited to host Takila Moody. She is a student at the High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. She is studying criminal justice and minoring in creative writing. And we also have a new constituent services advisor, Cole Ruley, who completed his undergraduate studies at the Howard University in Washington, D.C. in political science and sociology. And we have back, we can't count how many times he's been, especially on non-session days, but we're thrilled to have Marquise Bailey, and they all are working very hard for our constituents in the 191st District. Welcome. In the gallery, our colleague, Representative Borowitz, who serves Clinton and Union counties, has some special guests here seated in the gallery. We are excited this morning to welcome Maggie Melinda Rote, and along with her guests, please stand. Welcome to the floor of the House, Maggie. Also in the gallery, our colleague, Representative Mihalik, that serves Allegheny County, has Girl Scout Troop 60187. They are from Upper St. Clair, and there was a time when one of her daughters was in a troop. I don't know if you're up there, but we're so excited to welcome you back to the floor of the House, Girl Scouts. Our colleague that serves us right here in Dauphin County, Representative Fleming, has brought Brady from his legislative district, the 105th district. He recently earned an Eagle Scout badge, which we understand how significant that achievement is, and he is coming on the floor of the House to be recognized. Congratulations, Brady. We're so proud of you. Our colleague that serves Cumberland County, Representative Kutz, has Rohan Jawali here. Rohan will be a junior this fall at the Cumberland Valley High School and is seated in the gallery. Please stand, Rohan. We're so excited to welcome you this morning. Representative Friel that serves Chester County has Nicholas Sproul. It is his second visit to the House. He was previously honored with an Outstanding Constituent Award by Representative Schusterman, and he is in the Capitol today with his dad, Klaus Sproul, and with legislative staff member Christina Edwards. Would these Chester County guests please stand? We're glad to welcome you back to the floor. Our colleague, Representative Probst, that serves Pike and Monroe counties, has her legislative intern here, Liam McGraw. He is going to be working on a research project this summer with Representative Probst, and we're grateful for your service to our constituents this summer. Welcome, Liam. Representative Daly from Montgomery County has her legislative intern here, Hannah Hale. She's in the Capitol today to shadow her. Hannah, please stand in the gallery. Thank you for being here today. Representative Vinkin serves Allegheny County, has members of the Stop the Judgment Project here today. Stop the Judgment Project is working very hard to end the stigma of both mental health disorder and substance use disorders within young adults here in Pennsylvania, and the chair understands that the family has had a loss due to substance abuse disorder and sends continued prayers for comfort to your family. Thank you for your advocacy. Welcome to the floor of the House. Chair referred the following bills, which the clerk will now read.
Referrals, June 12, 2024. Senate Bill 801, Senate Bill 1150, Senate Bill 1151, Senate Bill 1154, Senate Bill 1155, those 5 to education. House Bill 2413, Judiciary, House Bill 2411, House Bill 2412, both to Labor and Industry.
Chair recognizes Representative Solomon, Chair of the Committee on Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness, who reports the following bills. House Bill 1728, reported as committee. Will the House agree the bill is agreed to? House Bill 1952, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? It's agreed to. House Bill 2010, reported as committee. Will the House agree to the bill? It's agreed to. Senate Bill 438, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? It is agreed to. Chair recognizes Representative Burns, Chair of the Committee on Professional Licensure, who reports the following bills. House Bill 2294, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? It's agreed to. House Bill 2295, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? It's agreed to. House Bill 2381, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? It's agreed to. Senate Bill 1165, reported as committee. Will the House agree to the bill? It is agreed to. Chair recognizes Representative Conklin, Chair of the Committee on Commerce, who reports the following bill. Senate Bill 1084, reported as committee. Will the House House agrees the bill is agreed to. Chair recognizes Representative Frankel, Chair of the Committee on Health, who reports the following bills. House Bill 1993, reported as amended. Will the House agree the bill is agreed to? House Bill 2339, reported as committee. Will the House agree the bill is agreed to? House Bill 2363, reported as amended. Will the House agree the bill is agreed to? The chair recognizes Representative Frankel, Chair of the Committee on Health, who reports the following resolutions. H.R. 464, reported as committed. Will the House agree the report is agreed to? H.R. 471, reported as committed. Will the House agree the report is agreed to? H.R. 476, reported as committed. Will the House agree the report it is agreed to? Chair recognizes Representative Kinsey, Chair of the Committee on Human Services, who reports the following bill. House Bill 2403, reported as committed. Will the House agree the bill is agreed to? Chair recognizes Representative Kinsey, Chair of the Committee on Human Services, who reports the following bill with a request that it be re-referred. House Bill 1425 to the Committee on Children and Youth. The chair is in receipt of extracts from the Journal of the Senate, which the clerk will now read.
Clerk of the Senate being introduced, informed that the Senate has concurred in the amendments made by the House of Representatives to Senate Bill numbered and entitled as follows. Senate Bill 126. Bills numbered and entitled as follows, having been prepared for presentation to the governor and the same being correct, the titles were publicly read as follows. Senate Bill 126, whereupon the Speaker, in the presence of the House, signed the same.
Chair is about to sign the following bill, which the clerk will now read.
Senate Bill 126.
Chair's about to take the master roll. Are there requests for leaves of absence? Chair recognizes the majority whip, who indicates there are none. Chair recognizes minority whip, who requests a leave of absence. For the gentleman from Lancaster, Representative Zimmerman, for the day without objection. That leave is granted. Members will proceed to vote. Chair is going to take the master roll. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Clerk will record the vote. 201 members having voted on their master roll call. A quorum is present. The chair recognizes the majority caucus chair for a caucus announcement, Representative Schlossberg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There will be an immediate meeting of the House Rules Committee in the Majority Caucus Room. House Democrats will caucus at 12:30. We will be prepared to return to the floor at 1:15.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the gentleman, Representative Dunbar, for a caucus announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Republicans will caucus at 12:15. Republicans will caucus at 12:15. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Lackawanna County for a committee announcement, Representative Mullins.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Appropriations Committee will meet in the Majority Caucus Room immediately following the Rules Committee meeting. That is the Appropriations Committee meeting immediately following the Rules Committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the gentleman, Representative Samuelson, for a committee announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House Finance Committee will have a voting meeting at 12 noon in room 515 Irvis to consider three bills. House Bill 1742, sponsored by Reps. Cepeda, Freitas, and Miller. House Bill 2226, sponsored by Representative Friel, and House Bill 2394, sponsored by Representatives Scott and Samuelson. Thank you, Madam Speaker. 12 noon in 515 Irvis.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Monroe for a committee announcement. Representative Madden.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There will be a voting meeting of the House Aging and Older Adult Services Committee immediately after the first break in room 523 of the Irvis Office Building to consider HB 2378, 2383, and 2400, as well as any other business that may come before the committee. Thank you.
House stands in recess until 1:15 unless sooner recalled by the Speaker.
of 1:15 having arrived, the House will come to order. The chair is in receipt of extracts from the Journal of the Senate, which the clerk will read.
Clerk, the Senate being introduced, return bill from the House of Representatives, numbered and entitled as follows. House Bill 1333. With the information, the Senate has passed the same with amendment in which the concurrence of the House of Representatives is requested.
The chair recognizes the Rep. Harris, Chair of the Committee on Appropriations, who reports the following bills. House Bill 1783, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. House Bill 2166, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. House Bill 2301, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. House Bill 2357, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. Senate Bill 887, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. The chair recognizes Representative Bradford, Chair of the Committee on Rules, who reports the following bills. House Bill 350, re-reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. The chair recognizes Representative Briggs, Chair of the Committee on Judiciary, who reports the following bills. House Bill 2162, re-reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. House Bill 2198, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. House Bill 2269, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. And Senate Bill 920, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. The chair recognizes Representative Madden, the chair of the Committee on Aging and Adult Services, who reports the following bills. House Bill 2378, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. House Bill 2383, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. And House Bill 2400, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. The chair recognizes Representative Madden, Chair of the Committee on Aging and Adult Services, who reports the following resolutions. House Resolution 453, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. And House Resolution 469, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the report? Agreed to. The chair recognizes the Majority Leader, who calls up House Resolution 366, sponsored by Representative Markozik, printers number 2998 on page 4 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the resolution.
A resolution recognizing the week of May 9th through May 15th, 2024 as National Stuttering Awareness Week in Pennsylvania, introduced by Representative Brandon Markozik.
Will the House agree to the resolution? Those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the resolution, the ayes are 200, the nays are 1. The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes the Majority Leader, who calls up House Resolution 400, printers number 2967 on page 4 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read the summary of the resolution.
A resolution designating the week of June 17th through June 23rd, 2024 as Pollinator Week in Pennsylvania, introduced by Representative Rob Matzey.
Will the House agree to the resolution? On the question, the chair recognizes Representative Schmidt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd like to extend my great appreciation to the gentleman from Beaver County, the chairman of the Consumer Protection and Technology and Utilities Committee, for House Resolution 400. This is an important resolution, Madam Speaker, dealing with an important issue, and I commend the chairman for it. I will submit the remainder of my remarks for the record. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the resolution, the ayes are 200 and the nays are 1. The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Resolution 449, printers number 3158, on page 7 of today's calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the resolution.
A resolution designating the month of June 2024 as Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System Month in Pennsylvania, introduced by Representative Stender.
Will the House agree to the resolution? Those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the resolution, the ayes are 200 and the nays are 1. The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Resolution 463, printers number 3227, on page 7 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the resolution.
A resolution recognizing June 19th, 2024 as Juneteenth Independence Day in Pennsylvania in commemoration of June 19th, 1865, the date on which slavery was finally abolished in all regions of the United States, introduced by Representative Napoleon Nelson.
Will the House agree to the resolution? Those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the resolution, the ayes are 198 and the nays are 3. The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Resolution 317, printers number 22585 on page 3 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the resolution.
A resolution supporting an amendment to the Constitution of the United States to establish that election spending may be regulated to ensure that every resident may exercise the right to free speech, political participation, and meaningful representation, and to protect Republican self-government and federalism. Introduced by Representative Waxman.
Will the House agree to the resolution? Representative Mako offers A04938. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Mako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When I saw this resolution for our freedom, I thought of putting this amendment on the resolution asking the Congress to secure our southern border. As we're all aware, this is the #1 issue facing us this new election in November, securing the border, securing our country for our freedom. That's why I put this amendment onto this resolution. Having said that, I will be withdrawing the amendment, but I wanted to bring this to our attention that we do need to secure our country and our southern border for our freedom. So with that, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I withdraw the amendment.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes Representative Marcel on the amendment. On the resolution, I apologize. The gentlelady waves off. The chair recognizes Representative Marcel on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This resolution would urge Congress to begin a long and unlikely path to changing the United States Constitution, likely to improve public faith in our democracy and reduce political partisanship. Good goals. But we don't need Congress to move a constitutional amendment to be a more transparent in our own communities and with our own advocacy work. When public officials in this Commonwealth and even our chamber operate partisan news sources without disclosing those affiliations, all of our communities suffer from increased cynicism and declining trust. So I would urge the sponsor to please act in keeping with the goals stated in the resolution by bringing the work of openness and transparency to his work within the chamber and outside the chamber. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the resolution, the ayes are 113 and the nays are 88. The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 1509, printers number 1725, on page 2 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the bill.
This bill provides existing boards of inspectors for county jails the option to include 2 to 4 members of the public on their board.
Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up Senate Bill 403, printers number 1187, on page 3 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the bill.
This bill allows the 4-year work requirement needed for a professional engineer license or professional land surveyor license to be performed before and after issuance of an engineer intern or surveyor in training certificate.
Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up Senate Bill 739, printers number 1670, on page 2 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the bill.
This bill requires health insurance policies and government programs to provide coverage of telemedicine services.
Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 350, printers number 3255, on page 1 of the supplementary calendar A. The clerk will read a summary of the bill.
This bill establishes a Uniform Parentage Act.
Will the House agree to the bill? Representative Sanchez offers A04946 as an amendment. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment was drafted at the request of the Department of Human Services. The clarifying language will assist the department with the provisions they're responsible for implementing. The major change proposed by the amendment is the extension of the effective date to 1 year. Please vote yes in support of this amendment. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members, please proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 108, the nays are 93. The amendment is agreed to. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. The bill as amended will be reprinted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 1963, printers number 3147, on page 2 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the bill.
This bill waives fees associated with copies of any birth, death, or marriage certificates for surviving spouses of veterans.
Will the House agree to the bill? The chair rules the following amendments out of order for violating House Rule 20. Amendment A04926, For what purpose does the gentlelady Representative Pickett rise?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to appeal that decision of the chair that Amendment A04926, which amends House Bill 1963, is out of order.
Representative Pickett appeals the ruling of the chair that Amendment A04926 violates Rule 20. House Rule 20 provides that no bill shall be passed containing more than one subject. The subject of House Bill 1963 is veterans' fee waivers for copies of birth, death, or marriage certificates. A04926 adds a second subject to the bill by providing for salaries of local registrars. Shall the decision of the chair stand as the judgment of the House? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Pickett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The underlying bill relates to the fees that are charged for death records from the vital statistics system. My amendment addresses the same topic. Local registrars were left out of those fee changes in 2017 and 2018. Their portion.
Gentlelady may suspend. The question before the House is the single subject, not the underlying amendment. Gentlelady may proceed.
We must appeal the ruling of the chair because those fees were left out in 2017.
The gentlelady will suspend. Again, the question before the House is whether the amendment is the same subject as the bill, not the reasons for the amendment. Gentlelady may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The amendment would address a modest increase considering the value of the service that local registrars provide to the public. I request your support on this motion.
The chair recognizes Representative Cutler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, quite simply, this amendment as well as the underlying bill both deal with registrar fees. The reason we must appeal the ruling of the chair on this amendment is because I believe it was decided incorrectly regarding the applicability of the fee language that is contained in the amendment and how it interacts with the underlying bill. Madam Speaker, very simply, it would increase the fees that would be collected as well as those that could be retained, which is why it belongs in this House bill, because this portion of the law was not appropriately updated previously and should be done so now.
Those in favor of sustaining the chair's decision will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. The yeas are 102, the nays are 99. Less than a majority of the members elected having voted in the negative, the decision of the chair stands as the judgment of the House. Representative Pielli offers Amendment A04648. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Pielli.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As written, the bill gives dependents of veterans access to free copies of certified birth certificates. This amendment removes the limitation to make sure that dependents aren't limited in the kinds of vital records to which they have access. With this amendment, dependents can have access to birth, marriage, and divorce certificates for free as well. I ask for your yes vote on this amendment. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 201, the nays are 0. The amendment is agreed to. Representative Rossi offers Amendment A 04861. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Rossi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My amendment is quite simple. It clarifies that the free copy limit applies to records issued by the Department of Health. This minor addition is the result of collaborations with the department and Chairman Frankel's office, and I want to thank the prime sponsor and Representative Delosier for their work on this issue. With that, I ask my colleagues for an affirmative vote on Amendment A 04861. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. The chair recognizes the gentleman, Representative Pielli.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an agreed-to amendment which prevents any unintended consequences for counties providing vital records. It's a thoughtful amendment. I ask for your yes vote on this amendment. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members, please proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 201 and the nays are 0. The amendment is agreed to. Will the House agree to the bill as agreed to? The bill as amended will be reprinted. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 2153, printers number 2969 on page 2 of today's House calendar. The clerk will read a summary of the bill. Will the House?
This bill amends the Prevailing Wage Act to prohibit split rates and cover custom fabrication.
Will the House agree to the bill? Representative Jones offers Amendment A 04085. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment simply defaults back to the... Mike Jones. Yeah, you're on the wrong one. Jeez. Sorry, we're looking for
The
Mike
member
Jones.
will suspend. The House will come to order. The gentleman is entitled to be heard. The House will come to order. The gentleman, wrong Jones. Mike Jones, Representative Mike Jones is recognized. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's the younger, smarter, better-looking Jones. But I'm the only one named after a rapper, so I do have that going for me. Who? Madam Speaker, I will be withdrawing this particular amendment in favor of a different amendment.
The chair thanks Representative Mike Jones. The chair Representative Kiefer offers Amendment A04086. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My amendment amends the definition of public work to increase the threshold from $25,000 to $252,000 and require that the threshold be adjusted for inflation each year on March 1st. In 1963, the Prevailing Wage Act was amended to add an exemption for small projects. The threshold was set at $25,000. You can't even do a bathroom remodel for that. In the last 61 years, the value of the dollar has decreased substantially. It takes over $10 today to buy the goods and services that $1 could buy in 1963. There have been periods of significant inflation, notably in the 1970s, and the current bout of inflation under the Biden administration that have exacerbated this trend. Today, the project threshold would need to be over $250,000 to exempt projects of the same size and scope that were exempted in 1963. My amendment simply restores the intent of the 1963 threshold by increasing the threshold to $252,000, roughly the inflationary adjustment price since 1963, and adds an annual adjustment for inflation. I would ask my colleagues to support this amendment, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 86 and the nays are 115. The amendment fails. Representative Kiefer offers Amendment A04087. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment would change the definition of public work to increase the threshold for $25,000 to $100,000. Act 89 of 2013 provided some relief to local government entities by increasing the threshold for prevailing wage to $100,000 for locally funded roads and bridge projects. Act 89 passed the House with bipartisan majority. My amendment would just align this with the Act 89 and provide more projects to fall within this scope. With that understanding, Madam Speaker, I will be withdrawing this amendment. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. The amendment is withdrawn. The chair recognizes Representative Kiefer, who offers Amendment A04088. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment would simply amend the definition of public work to exempt school safety and security improvements, something that is near and dear to everyone in this chamber. In 2018, the Pennsylvania Public School Code was amended to create the School Safety and Security Committee within the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. So schools can receive grants through the School Safety and Security Program, or they can receive a security assessment to receive recommendations on how to make the school facility more secure for students and teachers alike. In some cases, these improvements may take the form of physical changes that require construction to things like entranceways or parking lots and interior doors. Any construction project over $25,000 with any public funds will trigger prevailing wage requirements and increase labor costs on the project. Unfortunately, this means, and the reality has been for many of our schools, that fewer dollars are available to improve security at schools because money is diverted to the above market wages on these critical projects. My amendment would simply exempt school and safety security improvements if they are recommended or funded by the process we created in 2018 to be exempt. To exempt the project would need to be recommended by a school safety and security assessment, funded by a school safety and security grant, or identified in the criteria developed by the School Safety and Security Committee at PCCD. If we really care about the safety at our Pennsylvania schools, we should vote to exempt critical projects from prevailing wage requirements and stretch these dollars as far as possible to make our schools as secure as possible. I would appreciate my colleagues' support on this amendment, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. The chair recognizes the majority chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I oppose Amendment A04088, and I would ask all the members to oppose this amendment. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. The members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 89 and the nays are 112. The amendment fails. Representative Kiefer offers Amendment A04089. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment would actually align with something we already do. It amends the definition of public work to exempt work performed by students under a career and technical education program. So under prevailing wage, public work does not include work performed under the rehabilitation or manpower training program, but the definition of that refers only to inmates at a state institution. My amendment would extend similar exemption to students performing work under the CTE program. Career and tech centers across Pennsylvania have amazing programs that train students in a variety of career opportunities, including construction trades, and many of these programs include co-ops where students spend time working in the field they want to enter. In construction trades, many of the older workers are aging out, and Pennsylvania desperately needs younger workers to replace them. Similar to the current exemption for work performed by inmates in a training program, my amendment will extend opportunities to our CTE students. This could include working on a small project like an equipment building or a concession stand for a school, or working on a public work project as part of a co-op. If a CTE student can work on public works projects as part of their educational program without applying prevailing wage, it will provide more opportunities for these students to become qualified to enter good-paying construction jobs after they finish their education. I would encourage all my colleagues to support our young CTE students and support this amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The chair thanks the lady. On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Nielsen from Philadelphia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand here and rise to oppose Amendment A04089. While I appreciate the gentlelady's enthusiasm, we have to look at the safety on construction sites across this Commonwealth. Those who work on construction sites, like myself in my previous life, had to go through extensive training and safety requirements to be able to go to these construction sites, which are essentially unfit for humans. To bring students in such an environment without proper training and licensing is unsafe and puts children in harm. So I would ask for a negative vote on A04089. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. On that question, the chair recognizes the majority chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I thank the gentlelady for the amendment of A04089, but I will echo the words of the good gentleman from Philadelphia, and I urge a no vote.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In concern regarding our CTE students' safety at these work sites and entering into any kind of situation, working situation that isn't safe or properly trained, we already allow co-ops in the Commonwealth, so they can already do this. This is just applying the prevailing wage part, or exempting them from the prevailing wage aspect of this, what's currently done in the Commonwealth. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have the members voted? Have the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 81 and the nays are 120. The amendment fails. The chair will take a brief break to recognize the guest of Representative Bernstein. Today he has with us his daughter, Miss Zendaya Bernstein, 4 years old, and one of my favorite people. And I think your hair looks great today. Wear your crown, Miss Zendaya. The chair recognizes Representative Stambaugh, who offers A04091. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Stambaugh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will pull this amendment. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Representative Stahlbaugh offers Amendment A 04092. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Stahlbaugh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of Amendment 04092, which provides that public work under the Prevailing Wage Act will not be subject to the Separations Act or related multi-prime contracting requirements if the estimated cost is less than $250,000. The Separations Act of 1913 requires that public entities solicit separate bids and award separate contracts for electrical, heating, ventilation, and plumbing work undertaken as part of a public construction project where the total project costs exceed $4,000. And that $4,000, Madam Chair, is a level that has not been increased since 1981. Other state laws require multi-prime contracting for various types of political subdivisions, such as school districts and local government. The multi-prime delivery system makes the affected public entity responsible for the management and coordination of multiple contracts, which of course makes the projects more costly and management of the projects less efficient. My amendment simply provides that public work under the Prevailing Wage Act will not be subject to provisions of the Separations Act and related multi-prime contracting requirements for small projects. Let me emphasize that, just small projects where the estimated cost of the project is under $250,000. This way we can make contracting and managing construction projects more efficient when a project is subject to prevailing wage requirements. Let me note that it makes no sense, I think, to apply these requirements to small projects under $250,000 when prevailing wage requirements already apply. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. On that question, the chair recognizes the Majority Chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Chair Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I thank the gentleman for offering Amendment A04092, but I would urge the members to oppose this amendment because it would effectively repeal the Separations Act. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? On that question, the clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 74, the nays are 127. The amendment fails. Representative Stahlbaugh offers Amendment A 04093. Will the House agree to the amendment? The representative has withdrawn the amendment. Representative Stanball offers A04094. Will the House agree to the amendment? The gentleman withdraws the amendment. Thank you, Representative. Representative Flood offers Amendment A04119. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Flood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My amendment amends the definition of public work to exempt asbestos and lead paint abatement work in a school building where classes are taught or extracurricular activities are held on a regular basis. Across Pennsylvania, many older school buildings contain a variety of hazards, including lead-based paint and asbestos. In 2019, it was reported through the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers, and some of our colleagues here in the General Assembly estimated that in Philadelphia schools alone, the cost to address these safety hazards would cost about $170 million. Across the Commonwealth, the cost would be much higher. Many districts with older buildings must deal with these safety hazards. My amendment is simple. Lead paint and asbestos abatement will not be subject to prevailing wage in a school building where classes are taught or extracurricular activities are conducted on a regular basis. The companies and workers who do this important safety work must be trained and certified under the Asbestos Occupations Accreditation and Certification Act and the Lead Certification Act, and they are regulated by the Department of Labor and Industry. Any construction project over $25,000 with any public funds will trigger prevailing wage requirements and increase the labor costs on the project. Unfortunately, this means that fewer dollars are available to remediate these safety hazards at schools because money is diverted to the above market wages on these critical projects, and we know how critical our education funding is. If we care about remediating these building safety hazards in our Pennsylvania schools, we should vote to exempt critical projects from prevailing wage requirements and stretch these dollars further to make our schools as safe and secure as possible. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. The chair recognizes Chairman Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the gentlelady for bringing up this amendment A04119. But I want to make it clear to the members, the proposal of this amendment would essentially pay workers less money to deal with asbestos in schools. The objective is for us to pay workers more money, especially when dealing with hazardous material. So I would hope and urge folks to vote against paying workers less money to deal with asbestos. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 70 and the nays are 131. The amendment fails. Representative Tom Jones offers Amendment A04130. Will the House agree to that amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's not unusual for me to, sorry. I digress. Madam Speaker, this amendment simply defaults back to the current regulation that requires a worker to be paid the prevailing wage for the hours worked under each classification, eliminating the ability to pay multiple rates when a worker splits time between crafts on a publicly funded project will drive up the already inflated price of projects where workers split their time between tasks in different classifications. On small projects awarded to smaller contractors, a worker may do work that falls under multiple crafts, such as staging plumbing materials and then doing this specialty plumbing work. The employer already must keep track of how many hours are worked in each craft and pay the prevailing wage to the workers for the time they worked in each craft. There is no loophole. Splitting work between specialties on a job is costly and inefficient. Under this bill, a company would have to either pay a specialist to do unspecialized tasks, which would raise the cost, or prohibit employees from doing work outside of their specialty, which would also raise the cost. I ask for an affirmative vote on this amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman, and the chair recognizes the chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank the gentleman for bringing up Amendment A04130, but I would urge all members to oppose this amendment. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 81 and the nays are 120. The amendment fails. Representative Ecker offers Amendment A04537. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Ecker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this amendment, I think, is unique in the sense that it looks to narrow the definition of what we're trying to accomplish today. And it addresses the definition of custom fabrication, this bill, which, as it stands, is overly broad and is impractical. The current definition captures a wide range of custom manufacturing and assembling that inadvertently includes material suppliers and other entities that aren't truly engaged in construction work. My proposal seeks to strike a reasonable balance. It narrows the definition of custom fabrication to include only construction or assembly of major components, such as entire modules or structures that are specifically custom made for a project. This amendment will clarify the bill's scope, ensuring it actually applies to construction activities that occur off-site, rather than custom manufacturing processes. By doing so, we can ensure this bill is practical and effective and is focused on its intended purpose. I would ask for an affirmative vote.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes the chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, I'd like to thank the gentleman for offering Amendment 804537, but I would urge members to oppose this amendment.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the amendment, the ayes are 84 and the nays are 117. The amendment fails. Representative Mike Jones offers Amendment A04852. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My amendment does two simple things, both in support of low-income housing. First, it amends the definition of public work to exempt the rehabilitation of a residential property with fewer than 8 units. Second, it amends the definition of custom fabrication to exclude items produced for a residential project intended to expand the supply of affordable housing. Rising costs, both rental and purchase, are making it difficult for Pennsylvanians to find appropriate housing for themselves and their families. The problem is compounded by a lack of housing supply, and the housing stock that we do have is aging quickly. According to some estimates, Pennsylvania is short roughly 100,000 housing units. Vacant and blighted properties are a drag on local economies, increase crime, and represent lost revenue opportunities for local governments. Encouraging redevelopment of properties addresses housing shortages, redevelops neighborhoods into safe and attractive places to live, and provides additional revenue for those local economies. Federal housing law already exempts residential rehabilitation projects in buildings with fewer than 8 units from the federal prevailing wage requirements. However, due to a technicality, because the money technically passes through state coffers, albeit federal dollars, a few years ago, the Department of Labor and Industry began enforcing the prevailing wage on these much-needed smaller projects of 8 units and less. My amendment will simply mirror that exemption in federal law for these small housing rehabilitation projects in state law. Additionally, manufactured and modular housing have the potential to allow dollars to stretch further for affordable housing projects. I wonder how many of us, when we're doing home rehabilitation projects, seek to spend the absolute most money possible in doing those projects. When it's our money, we don't do that. I certainly hope we wouldn't do it with taxpayer dollars for projects that benefit the most needy in our state. The cost of housing has gotten out of hand for low and middle income Pennsylvanians. We can make sure that these dollars are able to go as far as possible in our communities by exempting these rehabilitation projects. I ask for a yes vote. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes the chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, Representative Dawkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, I want to thank the gentleman for offering Amendment 804852, but I would oppose this amendment and ask members to do the same.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. The ayes on the amendment, the ayes are 87 and the nays are 114. The amendment fails. Representative Jones also offers Amendment A04855. Will the House agree to the amendment? On that question, that the representative has withdrawn. Thank you. The House will agree to the bill. Agree to. The chair recognizes Representative Samuelson, Chair of the Committee on Finance, who reports the following bills. House Bill 1742, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. House Bill 2226, reported as amended. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. House Bill 2394, reported as committed. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The chair recognizes the majority leader, who calls up House Bill 1783, printer's number 3306 on page 1 of the supplemental calendar B. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill provides for opioid overdose awareness materials.
The bill has been considered on 3 different days and agreed to. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? The chair recognizes the sponsor of the bill, Representative Venkat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As an ER doc, I've experienced the opioid epidemic in a very particular way, but it pales in comparison to that of families who've lost loved one to the opioid crisis. In the gallery are my constituents, Sherry Jo Matt and Tom Bott, who very tragically lost their daughter Sienna to an opioid overdose. They've turned their tragedy into a drive for advocacy by starting the Stop the Judgment Project, which has made its priority to remove the stigma that is associated with addiction and to call for resources and efforts to treat this as the public health crisis that it is. It's their advocacy that has led me here today and hopefully will lead us shortly to a large bipartisan vote in favor of this legislation that will ensure that we publicize to our constituents how they can respond to an acute opioid overdose. I want to thank the gentleman from Indiana County, Representative Struzzi, for working with me, as well as Chair Kinsey and Chair Heffley for bringing this legislation forward on a bipartisan basis. I also want to thank the gentleman from Blair County, Representative Gregory, and our colleague, Representative Hohenstein from Philadelphia County, for improving the bill by adding the lifetime grant program that would help those with addiction and having services that can help them to move towards recovery. We all are struggling with the opioid crisis, and I think there is no one in this chamber who hasn't been touched by this in a very profound way. I strongly urge an affirmative vote, and I know I will be casting my vote in respect and in recognition of the work of my constituents who are here today. So thank you.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Philadelphia, Representative Hohenstein.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Substance use disorder and addiction impacts all of us. In my neighborhoods in Philadelphia, there's hardly a single family, my own included, that has been left untouched by the scourge of the opioid epidemic and the death, disruption, and deterioration it continues to wreak. But we in the city of the first class are not alone in this. Addiction has cast its tendrils, sunk its teeth, and clawed its way into suburban and rural communities as well. All Pennsylvanians deserve to have as many tools in the toolbox to fight this disease as we can. So yesterday, we voted to amend this bill to include the establishment of the lifetime recovery
from Substance Use Grant Program, and I'm grateful to my colleague from Blair County for working with me on this bill. We visited each other's districts. We saw the reality of the impact that this public health crisis has on all of our communities. And I still remember the day that I visited Hollidaysburg, sat on that bench, and we grieved the loss of the people in our lives who were gone too soon. And we talked about those who are still with us, our loved ones who we continue to fret and fuss and worry about every single day. Long-term recovery is possible. Release from the grips of addiction can happen, and our communities can be renewed and restored after the deprivation of this epidemic. Treatment, real treatment, not just 14 days of detox, but effective long-term treatment not only gets a person clean, but shows them the best ways to stay clean. Studies show that effective treatment takes 90 days or more, and intense work. That all sets the stage for the recovery that continues to follow after. And that's what the Lifetime Recovery Program is about. It's about the recovery that follows the person after that intense detox and getting a grip back on their life. And we need easier access to those long-term solutions like peer and family supports, housing and employment opportunity. And effective long-term programs help a person living with addiction to break the stranglehold that drugs have on their lives and reclaim their lives. So when a person suffering from addiction has things like peer counseling and mentorships, they can more easily reconnect with their families and their communities to heal not only themselves, but those families and those communities. This bill is a step in the right direction to doing all of that. So again, I want to thank my co-sponsor on the lifelong recovery programs from Blair County. And I also want to thank the 10 Republican and 14 Democrats who all co-sponsored our bill independently and made it truly bipartisan. I want to thank the chairs of the Human Services Committee and their staff for making it happen. And I want to thank the prime sponsor of the bill in chief, my colleague from Allegheny County, for allowing us to include this idea in their bill as well. All of this is set up to make sure that we can craft legislation to make wise use of the funds that have come down to us from the opioid settlements to support long-term recovery and all of the options that we need to have on the table to fight opioid addiction and other addictions in this state. I ask for a yes vote on this bill.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Philadelphia County, the majority chair of the Human Services Committee, Representative Kinsey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I urge an affirmative vote for House Bill 1783. This legislation, as amended, aims to address both immediate and long-term needs related to opioid misuse by raising awareness of overdose signs and supporting lifelong recovery efforts. Given the ongoing crisis of opioid overdose deaths in Pennsylvania, it is crucial that the public have access to information on identifying the signs of an opioid-related overdose, how to respond effectively, and where to obtain naloxone. House Bill 1783 will ensure the distribution of standardized, widespread materials to increase awareness of opioid-related overdoses. Furthermore, the legislation establishes a grant program to support recovery service providers across Pennsylvania. These grant funds can be used for peer support services, crisis intervention referrals, and assisting individuals in finding stable housing and employment. House Bill 1783's comprehensive approach addresses both immediate overdose response and long-term recovery support. I want to thank the maker of this very important piece of legislation, Representative Vingett, and I urge my colleagues to vote yes for House Bill 1783. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Agreeable to the provisions of the Constitution, the yeas and nays will now be taken. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote on the final passage of the bill. The yeas are 187, nays are 14. The majority required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally, and the clerk will present the same to the Senate for concurrence. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 2166, Printer's number 3163, on page 2 of the supplemental calendar B. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill establishes a reduced fee schedule for autopsy reports and related reports for the next of kin and guardians of deceased individuals.
The bill has been considered on 3 different days and agreed to. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Hambidge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill seeks to address an issue caused by the General Assembly. I recently spoke to a constituent of mine who lost her daughter, and to seek closure, she went to our county coroner's office to get a copy of the autopsy, toxicology, and coroner's report, and was told that she would have to pay $700 to access that information. I reached out to my coroner's office, who said this was due to a 2018 law passed by the General Assembly that requires coroners to charge and collect fees of $500, $100, and $100 for autopsy, toxicology, and coroner's reports. I can't imagine being in my constituent's shoes, grieving the loss of a child, and then paying for the funeral, paying for all of the things ancillary to death, and then being asked to pay $700 to photocopy reports that are already in existence. We have the opportunity today to ensure that we aren't profiting off families' griefs, or that we're not asking grieving families to subsidize counties' administrative costs. For those concerned that these reports will be obtained by family members for utilization either in court cases or for insurance purposes, some counties currently place watermarks on those documents saying that they are for personal use only and not to be utilized in court processes. This is common sense legislation and narrowly drafted to ensure that families are able to get the closure that they need without paying exorbitant fees, and I request your support. Thank you.
The chair thanks the gentlelady. Agreeable to the provisions of the Constitution, the yeas and nays will now be taken. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the final passage of the bill, the yeas are 102 and the nays are 99. The majority required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally, and the clerk will present the same to the Senate for concurrence. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 2301, printers number 3113, on page 2 of the supplemental calendar B. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill provides for distracted driving awareness plate.
The bill has been considered on 3 different days and agreed to. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Agreeable to the provisions of the Constitution, the yeas and nays will now be taken. Members will proceed to vote. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the final passage of the bill, the yeas are 190 and the nays are 11. The majority required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally, and the clerk will present the same to the Senate for concurrence. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up House Bill 2357, printers number 3192, on page 1 of supplemental calendar B. Will the House agree to the bill? Agree to. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill establishes the Pennsylvania Food Bucks program.
The bill has been considered on 3 different days and agreed to. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? On that question, the chair recognizes Representative Paczynski.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise today in support of House Bill 2357, which would establish the Pennsylvania Food Bucks program. This program is designed to enhance the value of our critical SNAP benefits and promote the purchase of healthy fruits and vegetables by offering incentives and qualifying purchases at participating retailers. The Pennsylvania Food Buck program would be operated by a Pennsylvania nonprofit organization selected by the Department of Agriculture with the experience of operating similar initiatives. This nonprofit will be responsible for providing benefit incentives called the Pennsylvania Food Bucks program to all SNAP recipients. The Pennsylvania Food Bucks program will be valued at no less than 40 cents for every dollar of SNAP benefits spent on eligible healthy fruits and vegetables. This added purchasing power will enable families to put more healthy food on their tables while also increasing the demand at our grocery stores, farmers markets, corner stores, and other food retailers in our Commonwealth who participate in our PA SNAP program. Ensuring consistent access to nutritious food is essential to the healthy well-being of our Pennsylvanians, especially our children. And that's why it's so important that SNAP benefits are maximized and healthy purchases are incentivized. The Pennsylvania Food Bucks program would be a significant step toward accomplishing both, which is why it has earned the support of the Food Trust Organization, Feeding Pennsylvania, and the Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has contributed to the advancement of this bill, especially the honorable gentleman from Philadelphia, the Majority Chairman of our Human Services Committee, for his partnership in helping navigate this process for the betterment of our farmers, our food merchants, and our Pennsylvania citizens. For these reasons, I strongly encourage an affirmative vote on legislation House Bill 2357. Thank you, one and all, and thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes Representative Kinsey from Philadelphia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to not only ask for your support of House Bill 2357, but also to inform you of the importance and the impact that this bill will have on people all across Pennsylvania. 1 out of 8 Americans cannot afford food in today's economy. The Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program makes food more affordable, and now we have the opportunity to enhance SNAP by establishing the Food Bucks program. Madam Speaker, in Pennsylvania, more than 1.5 million residents are food insecure. That's 1.5 million of our constituents. And approximately 51% of residents qualify for SNAP. This lack of access to food, especially nutritious food, increases the risk of chronic health conditions. By making healthy foods more accessible, we can improve public health, support our farmers, and boost the agriculture industry all at the same time, thereby strengthening Pennsylvania's economy. I introduced House Bill 2357 with my colleague from Luzerne County, Chairman Pazinski, to ensure that more Pennsylvanians can lead healthier lives. In states with similar programs, Madam Speaker, residents' consumption of fresh produce increased, thus improving their health and benefiting the agricultural industry. Under this bill, for every $1 of SNAP benefits redeemed for fresh fruits and vegetables, an additional 40 cents will be provided to our constituents. This incentive will help offset costs and ensure that Pennsylvanians have greater access to nutritious food grown by our local farmers right here in the great state of Pennsylvania. This initiative is a win for all Pennsylvanians, and I urge all members to vote in favor of House Bill 2357. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes Representative Williams of Delaware County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Every once in a while, as I'm listening on the floor of the House to debate, especially people who are passionate about their own projects, something catches my attention that I think needs to be emphasized, and today is one of them. I'd like for you to know that House Bill 2357 creates a new chapter of the Agricultural Code. For those of you who are representing districts heavy in agriculture, today is the day to pay attention. A new chapter in the Agriculture Code to provide for benefit initiatives for fruit and vegetable purchased by the SNAP recipients. Now again, SNAP is a program about food insecurity. If you've grown up poor, you know what food insecurity is about. I grew up poor. There was a time in my young military family when my parents couldn't afford food, and we would split fruit, and vegetables coming from my grandparents' garden. When you know about food insecurity, you will never go back to a place where you're going to allow that to happen to another family, especially in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This program is about providing fresh fruit and vegetables to people who don't have enough food. No sugar additives, no processed food, fresh fruit and vegetables. There should be no reason we can't support this bill today. There should be no reason that we can't acknowledge that we have people in our Commonwealth that don't have enough food, especially those that are fresh. And I would add on top of that, for my friends on my side of the aisle, the Food Merchants Association supports this bill because it's also good for our economy. For those reasons, I highly recommend that we support House Bill 2357, and thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair thanks the gentleman. Agreeable to the provisions of the Constitution, the yeas and nays will now be taken. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the final passage of the bill, the yeas are 171 and the nays are 30. The majority required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally, and the clerk will present the same to the Senate for concurrence. The chair recognizes the majority leader who calls up Senate Bill 887, printers number 1053, on page 2 of the supplemental calendar B. Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill exempts municipalities from certain deposit and registration requirements for cemetery companies.
The bill has been considered on 3 different occasions and 3 different days and agreed to. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Agreeable to the provisions of the Constitution, the yeas and nays will now be taken. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the final passage of the bill, the yeas are 201 and the nays are 0. The majority required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally, and the clerk will return the same to the Senate with the information that the House has passed the bill without amendment. The House will come to order. The chair would like to recognize 2 very special birthdays today, Representative Kuzma and Representative Mihalik. Happy birthday to both of you. The chair also recognizes Representative Benninghoff for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I just want to announce another little birthday. Just about 24 hours ago, my family was blessed with our 10th grandchild, Vivian Rose Madison, and compliments to my wonderful daughter, Amy. And a shout out to the Jefferson Hospital for their kindness. In amongst all of what we do, we've got to take a couple moments to enjoy the wonderful things in life, and she is a precious little doll. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Congratulations. The chair recognizes Representative Young for an announcement.
I also would like to stand and recognize that my daughter Sydney turned 17 today, and since I'm here, everybody say happy birthday to Sydney.
Happy birthday, Sydney. The chair recognizes Representative Hill Evans.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish my daughter and her husband this coming Sunday, June 16th, happy birthday to both of you.
Thank you. The Majority Leader moves the following bills be recommitted to the Committee on Appropriations: House Bill 350, House Bill 1509, House Bill 1963, House Bill 2153, Senate Bill 403, Senate Bill 739. The Majority Leader moves that the following bills be removed from the tabled calendar and placed on the active calendar: House Bill 2106, House Bill 2107, House Bill 2108, and Senate Bill 824. The chair is in receipt of a motion by the gentleman Representative Fleming that the House now adjourn until Monday, June 24th, 2024 at 12 noon, unless sooner recalled by the Speaker. The question is on the motion. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the House stands adjourned until Monday, June 24th, 2024 at 12 noon, unless sooner recalled by the Speaker.